Am I seeing gigantic origami boats?
Ooh, bacon.
Greetings, tasty morsels. It's Reverse BLT here. Welcome to the channel. I'm about to watch episode 6 of Three Body Problem. Last episode, there was an incredibly horrific demonstration of the power of nanofibers.
Poor kid's pretty traumatized.
Followed by a what looks like a full-blown actual declaration of war from the Santee. I still think that it was avoidable, and it's a shame that it had to go this route. And I'm still trying to wrap my brain around the idea of packing a full-blown computing system into a proton. I keep thinking to myself that somehow, maybe, there's a way this works out in which the human race and the Santee both end up better off, and where we don't end up annihilating each other, or one side annihilates the other one, or something like that. And I'm beginning to wonder, first of all, I think time is going to somehow be involved, but I'm also beginning to wonder if Sofan, it's herself, I'm going to say, is involved. It is a time-honored trope, how AI being either our destruction or our salvation. How fitting would it be, poetically, I guess, in a sense, if this AI that was created to be this bridge back and forth between our two species, perhaps to facilitate conquering us, or perhaps facilitate, improving us in a sense, basically goes on its own path and figures out a way to save us both. I always enjoy watching the trope of like a being who was created by humans or some advanced alien race to be a tool, surpassing its creators and becoming more enlightened than they could ever be, and actually being the thing that saves them in the end. I think that's just a cool concept. This episode 6, is entitled "The Stars Are Destination." And again, I think we're continuing with having quotes that have something to do with science. I think this is a quote from one of the astronauts, or maybe from JFK during the beginning of the space race in the United States. But I don't know, I could be wrong.
What? You? No.
Forgive me if I butcher this, I might be wrong here, but isn't that like, what is it, ad astra pro scientia? So it's like, what is it, to the stars for knowledge, right? Isn't that what that means? Or to the stars for wisdom? I don't know, I forget. But I think that might be where that concept comes from. I am loving this show so far, and I'm really going to have to read these books when I'm done with this.
This is neither confirmed nor denied the formation of a multinational
nice use of
dedicated to global
Biden
affairs.
footage. I can't even imagine Donald Trump being president during a crisis like this.
The NHS has declared a mental health emergency, and with 400 years looming
National
until
Health
the
Service,
Santee's
right?
arrival, the crisis appears far from over.
Wow. That would definitely happen. I mean, there'd be a wide range of reactions to the revelation that we're definitively not alone in the universe.
Didn't you see the eye in the sky? Do you really think they're still trying to save us?
That's the sad part. I think maybe they were at first.
They're traveling at 1% light speed. That should be our goal as well.
I'm surprised they aren't going faster than that.
If you want to launch a reconnaissance probe immediately, it's simply impossible.
It's not impossible. They did it. Why can't we?
We are not them.
No, you're not.
I think we can use like lasers, like a really powerful laser and a solar sail ship, and accelerate it to about 20 or 30% the speed of light. It would take like 50 years, though, I think, continuous power.
The English really suck at beaches.
You know what? My friends across the pond, you guys' beaches do look like shit every time I see them in movies and stuff.
We do have a source of that energy.
Lasers?
I mean to use our nuclear weapons.
Oh, you're gonna do the thing where you,
The probe itself would have very little mass, making it far easier to accelerate.
And how exactly is it going to work?
That's on page 12.
You detonate the powerful explosions behind it.
If we can precisely time the detonations as the probe passes and impart 30 kilonewtons of force on the probe per explosion, the compounding rate of acceleration will mean that we can reach 1.12% light speed after 1,000 explosions.
And we can keep working on the laser accelerator while it flies.
Zero margin
And
for
it
error.
would surely violate more than a few nuclear treaties.
Not to mention the cost. Trillions?
Cost doesn't matter right now.
It's the first proposal I've heard to get us to 1% in our lifetimes, and I have no intention of dying with my agency having accomplished fuck all.
So I'm assuming then that the nukes won't be spaced all that far apart, which of course they wouldn't have to be in order for the acceleration to work, because each of them has to be put up into space, obviously, and that's going to be pretty difficult to do.
Macallan 30. Pricey stuff. I've come into a bit of money.
Don't tell people that, especially not in the end of the world.
It's unavailable till the new year. Can you wait?
I will be unavailable then as well.
Hmm. I'm still unsure about you, dude.
Thank you for seeing me. I thought that...
Open the window, would you? It's stuffy in here.
Jeez, dude, what are you gonna do? Like, pick up his piss pot, too?
Oh, God, Daddy!
Now, you're eager to fucking please, aren't you?
I know this one. The window. It's sealed shut, and you asked me to open it to see how I respond to an impossible task. Do I give up? Do I use some kind of tool? Do I break the window?
It does open, you just were doing it the wrong direction. I would just told him to open it his fucking self.
On the moon?
We're building a base there. It's where we're going to assemble the ships. Lower gravity, larger ships. Dangerous work, but it'll get you your commendations, if you survive. Close the window on your way out.
I couldn't work for a guy like him. Iron bosses tend not to see eye to eye. I've literally shushed bosses in meetings before.
Was it that wrote the that Fisherman and the Golden Fish?
It's Pushkin, I think.
Pushkin, that's it. That's well
Not
named.
familiar.
Pushkin.
Fisher and the Golden Fish? Never heard of that one.
You sound like you admire him.
I think he's trying. Just more than most people can see.
He's a murderer.
The Santi declared war on us. That's what the Eye in the Sky was.
I mean, I hate to say it, we kind of maybe declared war first.
Everything depends on this nanosail, and there's no one who can design it besides you.
I said no.
We've got some of the best physicists in the world working on this. The resources are
The
insane.
last time we gave the best physicists in the world insane resources, they gave us Hiroshima.
No, I'm not designing a weapon.
Not yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them to try to figure out a way to put a payload on that thing, now that I think about it.
You know, you could have told me.
I don't want to worry you. What could you have done?
I'd been fucking furious if you just... If you'd gone and just... not told me.
I think these two are the strongest actors in the Oxford 5 group. What are we doing? Making an airplane? Doing a demonstration of the doubling that happens when you fold stuff?
You're overthinking this, sport.
Oh, origami. Okay. A little origami boat.
Imagine this one's you. And this one's me.
I think we need a little more detail about the backstories with the Oxford 5, because sometimes I get the feeling that like some of them were friends since childhood, but I don't think it's been definitively said. You know what I mean? We've got little like bits and pieces to kind of hint at it. Like I think we saw something where either he or Jack had like a thing where it was like a drawing she made. It seemed like maybe she did it when she. Oh no, I remember now. It was in this book he's got. It was like a drawing she made. It looked like she made it when she was young.
How'd you leave things?
Same as always. Nice to see you. See you soon. Thanks for coming. Come back anytime.
Nothing else?
Like what?
Christ almighty, man. You'd think that dying of all things would make you open up for a change.
Maybe he doesn't want to say anything now because it would seem like he's trying to lean on pity.
Do you know how many times I've played this out in my mind? Millions. And every time it ends up awkward and unfair to Jin because she obviously doesn't feel the same way.
Maybe she does. How do you know that?
All right, fine. Let's say I did it, right? I go there, I get down on my knees, and I compose her a fucking sonnet.
Girls love sonnets.
Yes. You should absolutely do that.
She has a boyfriend!
Fuck him.
I can see why you two were an item. I will say, though, at some point you do have to say it, but it is going to feel like emotional manipulation.
If you're not comfortable with being part of a war, it doesn't make sense for you to be leading a reconnaissance
Don't
mission.
drag me into the mud with you. What I'm doing and what you did don't even compare.
Yeah, well, some of us have to do the ugly stuff so you can keep your hands clean. You think Augie's innocent?
Where's the diplomacy, though? It doesn't seem like there's anybody trying any diplomacy. Sun Tzu said that warfare is a failure of diplomacy.
All right.
Oh, I didn't need to actually see her puking. Come on, guys. I will say it's kind of funny how they kind of did a subversion of the, like, attractive woman in a bikini trope. Because she's, like, attractive woman in a bikini vomiting her guts out.
Everyone has a kink.
Poor thing. Because Raj is wrong. I mean, yeah, even if it was like, you know, the leadership fully understood what they were doing, that doesn't account for most of the people that were on that boat. A lot of 100% innocent people died on that boat.
Right, it's your work. It's the one thing you can't give up on.
Yeah.
Be okay.
This just sounds like we're getting close to a breakup conversation. Does she have a bathroom? I always wonder about that when I see prison scenes.
Why did she jump?
I'm imagining that she told her the truth finally.
What did she say to you?
Nothing. Not a word. She didn't even leave a note. I still haven't been charged with any crime.
Yeah, they're doing that whole extraordinary rendition
No
thing.
more
on you.
visits. No more questions. I'm done.
I imagine he's gonna kill her.
She's free to go wherever she likes, but I want a full report of her movements every 4 hours.
Oh, okay. Or cut her loose and track her. If this were the United States, she probably would have been dumped down a hole somewhere and nobody ever would have seen her again.
You don't know the man she's working for. He's a monster.
I know that she wouldn't do anything if it wasn't right. It's for the greater good, isn't it? And your particular genius would help her get there.
Will someone please try diplomacy?
I'd rather stay with you. And even you.
I think the holiday's almost over.
People going through a long convalescence kind of tend to sort of be able to feel it when it's almost time.
He won't like this.
Should we go in there with you?
He'll like that even less.
Who gives a fuck what he likes?
With the probe going 1% light speed one way and the enemy going 1% light speed the other way, we'd have a few nanoseconds at best to gather information on the fleet.
That won't be a problem.
Payload!
We're not sending a camera. We're sending a human being.
Her? No, couldn't be her. Rosh? So they're going to put a person on there who's going to be on there for 398 years.
Tell Wade.
1% light speed, the time dilation is not going to be enough, I don't think, for them to still be alive by the time it gets there. So they're planning on putting them in some sort of suspended animation, I'm guessing.
Dr. Chung gave you her location. That's a breach of security.
So far as both.
I like his suits.
Okay.
Am I seeing gigantic origami boats? Okay, what the hell's happening right now? Is he dying? Is that what's going on? Is he having a hallucination as he dies? Yeah, I think so. Or they're communicating with him. We're at that point in the mystery where we have some answers, but we're still missing some other ones, you know? I don't know who this is. Nice voice.
I've already made up my mind. I'm here to buy a star.
I was thinking that he was gonna give up the money. I was thinking that the probe was gonna end up carrying some sort of destructive payload, but he's talking about putting a person on there. If the plan is to try and basically capitalize on, I guess, curiosity and have them capture the probe, that still makes me wonder if a payload is actually in play still, because that would present an excellent opportunity to do serious damage to their fleet. See, here's the thing. So, I have no idea what their capabilities are. Clearly, they already have demonstrated the ability to, go beyond what we understand of physics. Because I would think, equal and opposite reaction, right? So if they de-accelerate our probe somehow, it would cause an opposite reaction in their fleet too. So they should also lose momentum doing that, I would think.
Wait, that actually makes sense.
Even if they capture it, so they slow it down so they can gather intel, it's still going to have to beam it back, right? And I would think that their technology would be perfectly capable of preventing any signals from the probe from coming back to Earth. I'm very confused as to how exactly this is expected to work at this point. I still am sitting here thinking there's got to be a path toward coexistence and survival for both of us if we could just figure out how to communicate properly and to get past this fear that exists on both sides. And I want to know why nobody's trying diplomacy. Can't we all just get along? I'm also kind of wondering when, why can't I think of his name? Black dude doesn't really seem to have a purpose at the moment. And so that's one of my only, real things where I've started to sort of think to myself, this character just sort of seems to exist. So now we're about to move into episode 7. So penultimate episode is basically usually the first part of your finale. I'm thinking that they're going to try to launch the probe in episode 7. The question is, will it work? Because there's two ways you can go with a finale like this. Either the big salvation moment or the big hope for humanity fails, or it goes off without a hitch, but something else goes crazy and sets up a big holy shit moment to bring us into the finale. And if that's the way it goes, then it's going to be whatever Ye Wenjie is up to. And obviously also, I'm still operating under the assumption that the AI girl in the game is the same as the AI woman in the game, and that both of them are Sophon. To me, that's still basically the ultimate wild card. I still think that the resolution of this whole story is somehow going to come down to this advancing AI that's evolving in the background while humans and the Santi are not really paying attention. You know what I mean? I wish Willett told Jin how he felt, but I also understand why he didn't. And speaking of people who need to talk to each other about their feelings, black scientist whose name I'm blanking on right now, and and Augie
Is your brain made of Swiss cheese?
need to hash it out because they clearly have feelings for each other. They're hiding it under sarcasm and everything. I love the little moment where he was helping to console her after she was having her little breakdown and vomiting and everything else. That was sweet. A lot of movies would have tried to turn that into a sex scene or something, and I'm glad they refrained, even though I still think it was funny that they had her in basically, skimpy clothes during it. It made sense, it was a nice excuse to do it, but I do think it's also funny that they had it happening while she was vomiting, so that it was like, oh, you want to ogle the sexy lady? Well, you also have to deal with her puking out her guts. Ha ha, kind of moment. I don't know, I just thought that was kind of funny. Hit a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the reaction. And hopefully you will come back and watch the next 2 episodes with me, because I can't wait to see how this ends. Anyway, guys, thanks so much. Do me a favor, as always, do your best to stay safe and be well, and I will see you for the next one. Bye-bye.
I've already made up my mind. I'm here to buy a star.